take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make her mine.
I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can.
While I can't read minds, I can say that probably you're saying this is a great looking car only because I'm saying it's a great looking car. Like, look at this thing for a second. This is a real deal 64.5. What does that mean? Well, the original launch cars, the cars that were for shows, things like that, that changed the world. Remember, there's no Camaro, no, all kinds of other muscle cars that came along later. This was it. This was the pony car, right? It changed the world. This one in particular is cool because it's very authentic, great color combination, air conditioned, automatic, like a cool car. You could go to a show, you could go to a winery, you could go to vacation, you could do all kinds of things that probably somebody did back in 65 or 64.5, right? How cool is that? All right, so we'll take some time. We're gonna look at things like why is this a 64.5? How will I know this is a 64.5? Can the VIN number tell me that? Let's look at what are the upgrades on the car. Let's look at the restoration. We're gonna do all that with you, and let's get started. So many times someone will say, hey, Tone, man, that's a great looking car. And I'm like, thanks so much, I agree, right? And but a lot of times we don't know why it's a great looking car. So I like to point out some things once in a while that say, oh, okay, now I'm starting to get some of this. For instance, while this paint is really great looking and it's beautifully reflecting here in the camera for you, these little tiny things like, and why some cars are more expensive than others, is for instance the pony wheels here with the dual Redline tires. That is an amazing wheel and tire setup. All new chrome and stainless grills, bumpers, emblems, like all these little things that continue to add to the beauty of the car. So when the sunlight hits it, or you go to a car show at night, or you go to Cars and Coffee, it really pulls up and looks well. What I always like to do as well is give you a sample of the paint, show you how to look at paint. Let's do that for a second. This is Midnight Blue Metallic here. It's actually called Metallic Blue. It's not an exotic naming color, but it is an exotic looking color. Come on up, we'll check that out, and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, so come on up here. What I like to say is when I say mirror finish, you should be able to read every one of those letters that's in there, right? Nice and crisp and clear. You can see how beautiful it is. You can see the metallic in here. You can see the ceiling and the lights from up above reflecting in there. And that's the kind of paint that you want because that is really what gives you that great deep shine. Okay, so we have two types of people that get a cool car here at Fleming's. There's some that just want a cool car to drive and enjoy with the family or friends or whatever, go out to dinner, what have you. And then we have other people who like to go to a car show or go to, say, Cars and Coffee and show it off there. And I think this car is detailed enough to be able to do that, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Also, too, we have a very rare car. Let's get into why is this a rare car. Well, this is really a 64.5, and so people say, well, what does that actually mean? Well, first off, they're not titled as 64.5 because the Mustang came out in 65. But as you know, all new cars come out roughly 4 months before the year that they're named after, right? Even today's modern cars come out in August, right, for next year's year that it's labeled. Anyway, how do we know? Well, let's get in here and let's find that out. I'm glad you asked that question. Thanks for asking it. Smart person. Anyway, so we know that the VIN sequence there shows that this car falls under the 64.5 guideline. More importantly, it's the end of the run of the geese, right? Makes it even more rare, okay? So we have that here. And then we have certain things on it that show us that it is a 64.5. For instance, it still has the generator on it instead of an alternator. Inside we have the dash. It's different than the next dash that comes out a little bit later, right? All these things are kind of cool because these are the early cars, man. These are like the prototypes, the dealer demos, the very few cars that the public got a hold of before they changed them. That's why it's so rare. Then we get into this as a decoded 4-barrel, and then more importantly, it has some accoutrements. I hope I didn't butcher that word. If you're French, I apologize. That says to me, this is a driving car, right? And you say, Tom, what does that mean? All cars drive. Wow, what does that actually mean? Well, because we forget to ask about important things, because today's modern car has all this. For instance, this has power brakes. This has power steering. This has air conditioning, right? This has an upgraded cooling system. So all of that nice stuff makes for a much better driving car. I think that you would really enjoy taking this to a show or just going out to dinner or a winery, go out with friends, go out with the kids or whatever. You'd have a really, really good time. All right, so back to why does this car look so good? Well, let's talk about that for a second. When you have all new taillights, bezels, gas cap, This also has the GT exhaust setup back here with the dual down here instead of it pointing down, right? And then inside here, the trunk is detailed super nicely. Check this out, it's painted all in here. It's got the mat. This would have a spare tire in it, which we'll put in before you take delivery. And then, you know, you could go to a car show and leave it like this and that looks great, but that's not really the idea behind it. That is part of it. The rest of the part of it is throw a couple bags, soft bags in the back or some luggage and go away for the weekend. You're like, oh, Tone, I never even thought about it. I could go away for the weekend in that car, right? The whole experience is very different driving this cool car with a rumble that like you can't get in today's car, right? And it's functional. This is a real car. You could use it every day. It's not like some rare tiny piece of something, a piece of art that you can't use. This is designed to be used. It's designed to be driven, and going down the road, it looks great. So you're walking up to your cool car, maybe you drove to work, maybe you decided to go away for the weekend or whatever, but get in here because I want to show you what the difference between some really, really nicely restored cars are and cars that are just had some spray wax put on them. All right, let's talk about that for a second. All new seats, carpets. The kick panels here, they're molded in and they have speakers in them, right? So you don't have to cut up the dash and there's only room for one speaker up there anyway, right? This has the full console, another option, right? This just sits on top. You don't have to have it there if you don't want to. It comes off, but it's a cup holder and a place for other stuff if you want to, right? It's a nice little piece. I don't dislike it. This has the hidden digital sound system. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you what it means. It means that this here, while it looks all stock, right, is really AM, FM, and Bluetooth compatible, things like that. You can stream your music to it, which is super nice. This has the 64.5 dash that I spoke about earlier on, right? This is the original style dashes. Super cool looking, right? All new dash pad, painted dash to match the car, new door panels, door handles, or armrests. And the reason I'm bringing all this stuff up is because all of this stuff is so expensive to do. You have a new steering wheel. It's painted the correct color that's supposed to match the car here. It's not black when everything else is blue. New horn button, new horn, working horn, and stuff like that. And I say that because when you put the time and effort into something like this, and you can take another couple out, you can go out with the kids, you can go to a winery, you can go to dinner. I'm just telling you, man, life's experiences are much better in a cool car like this. It's all about the great rumble. Let's have some rumble. All right, so I thought maybe we'd go for a little drive. Thanks for getting me out of the store. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is why people do it, man. This is why people get something cool like this, because it's just different than getting in your daily driver and going for a drive. People are giving thumbs up everywhere. They love seeing an old school car, especially a beautiful one like this. And all the time you see the pictures and everything from the outside, but you don't get to see what it's like to drive it. And now we're wheeling along one finger because it has power steering. And I don't know, it's just great. I'm just gonna shut up, maybe let you listen, maybe I'll just drive, and we'll just hang out. All right, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have new stuff coming out all the time. Hit the like button down below, helps get the message out. I really appreciate that, and maybe share it with your friends. They might see something you like too, and I'll see you on the next one. Was that an awesome test drive or what? We walked around the car, we saw all the great stuff that comes with it, the air conditioning, the power steering, the new interior, the wheels and tires. Like, we spent a lot of time looking at this car, and we were able to show how we have a collector car. Well, Tom, what does it mean by a collector car? Aren't all cars collector cars? I said, no, they're not all collector cars. You know what? When you have low production, first year, very authentic cars, like those are low production cars. Those are collector cars, and that's why in the case of this here, this is a fabulous, fabulous something to own and enjoy, right? How cool is it you can have a piece of art and go for a drive in your piece of art, while hopefully it continues to go up in value like it's been doing for so many years. Call us, 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about this cool Mustang.